So I've been lucky enough to interview one of the biggest gold selling and boosting websites on the market right now, Overgear. I think we've always wondered just how big the RMT world is, like just how much are these guys making? The industry combined is making hundreds of millions of dollars every month, and that is straight out the mouth of a gold selling website. To put this in perspective, guess how much money World of Warcraft exclusively made for Activision Blizzard in the first quarter of 2023? Well, it's $172 million. The RMT world is easily 5 times as big as that. The industry is bigger than entire game development and publishing companies. It's bigger than CD Projekt Red, bigger than Bethesda, bigger than BioWare. They're even bigger than Greggs. For the NA brains out there, Greggs is the biggest bakery takeaway brand in the UK. Actually, that's totally incorrect. At this point, it's probably a religion. Like, we really love a Greggs over here. You can even buy their uniform in clothing shops. I just find it crazy how the RMT underworld is making more revenue than big brand companies. Overgear themselves, on average, get 9 million gold per day, and that's just on Reflection Classic on US realms. So really it's no surprise, as that's just one company selling one product. They also do boosts and raid loot runs. In fact, Mongoose, a marketing staff member at Overgear who agreed to do the interview with me, has full out come correct and revealed everything there is to know about how this company set itself up and functions daily, from how many staff members they have to all of their security measures. So without further ado, it's time to take a deeper insight into the inner workings of a gold-selling website. As I said in my previous video, they would not speak to me, but they did write down answers to my questions. Luckily, Cheddar is returning with her lovely voice to voice act for us. She streams Reflection Classic on Twitch very regularly. I'll leave that linked in the description. Now, there are many aspects to Overgear. This is a full, legit company with offices and even a health insurance program for staff members.
Today, we have 170 employees on staff, including development and testing, customer care, operations and sales, and marketing teams. More than 3,000 boosters and teams, including guild from world first racers and some of the top PvP players in the world.
Most of their staff members work remotely in 15 countries around the world. They also have offices in Class A business centres thanks to a British investment fund. He goes on to talk about how there's free cookies, coffee, pizza on Fridays, corporate events, along with courses and training paid for by the company. He also mentioned that there's a masseuse for some reason. Apparently, if you're having a stressful week of selling World of Warcraft gold, you can go and get a professional massage. As you can see, this is a fully legit company, making profit, paying staff, paying their taxes, and this is fully legal. And this is what I find crazy about it. How can a company make this much money, set up this much infrastructure, by essentially exploiting the virtual world that a game developer has created? I know it's a made-up world, but they are making profit by nefariously capitalizing on a different company's product, and in the process, making that product worse. I know Blizzard make enough money as it is, but it should be illegal to make money by making another product worse and reducing another company's profits. Because let's be honest, how many people are just totally done with World of Warcraft because of all the bots and people selling gold? By the way guys, these videos do genuinely take a good 50 to 100 hours to make, so I would really appreciate it if you did subscribe to the channel. The more that people do subscribe, the more that I can put more effort into making big videos like this and I don't have to worry about the algorithm demons. But anyway, let's move on. I was also curious about how a company like this sets themselves up.
For the first year of the company's life, we were just resellers. We bought from larger marketplaces and sold on our own. We also developed our own marketplace so that other sellers, teams, and guilds, or even entire business teams, would start working on it.
So started off by reselling other websites' gold, and then eventually progressed into doing everything themselves, including boosting services. Boosting will also get its own episode, as they've definitely given me enough information for me to do that. It's interesting how they have guilds who have won world first races as their clients, as people who actually work for them and do the boosts. If anyone has any information on the boosting side of the RMT world, please feel free to message me on Discord. My Discord is always in the description too, because that would be very, very useful. Now, Overgear claims they have a process to ensure that they don't use gold farmed from bots. Firstly, they made the argument that it's actually less profitable to get gold from these kinds of sellers. They can actually make more by reselling gold that average players give to them. They usually get the gold from farmers from less developed countries, where the individual seller will be happier with a cheaper sale, because in their country it will be worth more money.
Bot software contains a lot of anti-detection and costs a lot of money. There are only 2 good software programs on the market right now that are available for purchase, and several teams and companies that have their own self-written products. The available programs can be purchased on the darknet or from specialized sites. Darknet will come out cheaper, but you will still have to sell about $100,000 worth of gold before the investment pays off. Software implies that farming gold will go to several machines. At a minimum, it makes sense to use at least 5 to 10 accounts at a time. You can use farming in multiple accounts on one computer, but then it multiplies the hardware requirements. Amounts and setup of bot farms is comparable, but not identical, to the price tag of a mining farm setup.
You will still be surprised just how poor certain countries are in the world compared to the West. But as far as I can see, they really don't have a way to fully know the true source of the gold. Obviously, we now know that this gold is very likely from bot farmers and the GDKP scene.
As a rule, it is easier and often cheaper to buy gold from India or other regions where the wages are low. This type of business is practiced worldwide by utilizing cheap labor to produce, or in this case farm, the same product.
In the interview, they also stated how they don't sell botted gold, but also say they use their own bots to farm gold for their own internal needs. I guess that's to farm gold for game time for their seller accounts. I mean, make of that what you will. But the most striking thing that they said is they haven't been banned on a single account, a single seller account, for 2 years. And they've not had any gold refunded or frozen, or anything like that. And they have hundreds of accounts on all the popular realms on retail and on classic. They actually use their own self-written VPN software with anti-detection protocols to avoid getting banned. They farm gold on their bot accounts by farming reagents, clearing dungeons and automated trade, but apparently don't sell that gold to people. That's just for their own needs. That's what they say anyway. I'm not 100% sure what they mean by automated trade, but I'm guessing it's selling items on the auction house. You know when you see these items for a really cheap bid price, but an obscene buyout price? This is effectively on there to scam people, because people will, if they're not using an auction house add-on, accidentally buy these items. It actually happened to me the other week. I spent 9,000 gold on a crystallized air because for some reason my auction house add-on wasn't running. Now, another interesting topic is the WoW token. I asked how are things different on retail now that the WoW token has been in the game for years.
The price of a Blizzard token is a measure of the value of gold, and pricing is derived from it. The token that game users buy is converted by them into gold, which they use to get services provided for gold, whose performers then sell us that gold, and we in turn sell it to our customers. The circle is closed. With the introduction of the token, profits have not dropped.
I just find this hilarious. Profits have not dropped. This just proves, guys, that the WoW token is literally nothing. At this point, it's just a complete joke. I actually asked Overgear how much money they make. They couldn't tell me exactly, but they confirmed that they are making tens of millions a month. And that's crazy because they are essentially a middleman between farmer and buyer, taking 20% commission. They also confirmed that hardcore servers will easily be profitable to gold farmers and sellers. In fact, right now there are bots on the hardcore PTR making profiles to ensure a very high survival success rate while farming gold. In fact, there are people fly hacking all over the place in classic era right now. It's currently a very big problem. Or what they do is they go through the walls, underneath dungeons, go to chests, quickly open a chest, reset the dungeon and rinse and repeat. And as we know, there are barely any GMs supporting Wrath of the Lich King Classic, never mind Classic era servers. So as you can see, the kingpins of RMT are definitely organised. You could argue they're even more organised than Blizzard themselves. Blizzard have stated that this is an unwinnable war. That's straight from a blue post. Fair enough, that is true. As long as people can make money selling WoW gold, etc., it will be done. But that doesn't mean Blizzard have an excuse to barely make any effort into mitigating the issue. The more they make the effort to mitigate the issue, and the less profits that the RMT industry can make, the better the experience will be for the player. Because obviously the consequences of all this going on is server economies inflating. Nobody wants to spend 10 gold on a potion of haste. Or potion of speed, or whatever it's called. Like, those things are literally bleeding me dry in the game right now. To believe that the WoW token is a tool to mitigate RMT is the same as believing that Scotty J is going to stop drinking gin. It isn't true within the objective reality of the universe. If you think nothing can be done, you're simply wrong. I'm talking to bot devs, anti-cheat warden devs, PhD students studying AI, and I'm also talking to a former World of Warcraft GM who worked at Blizzard for 12 years. All will be revealed in future episodes after I've researched and interviewed people extensively. There will also be a full interview version of this video releasing very soon, so be sure to subscribe, as I said before, so you don't miss future episodes. So far it's looking like this series will be a good, meaty 8 episodes, but it could be even more because, like I said, people are just messaging me with more and more information all of the time. But anyway, my name is Metagoblin, until my next video, ciao.